We all had an early vision of what our lives would look like, and then life actually happened. From marriage to motherhood, career dreams, and everything in between, this is Life Actually with Mary Bell. Tony Peck, aka the godfather of Instagram, is a business growth consultant and advisor, a national keynote speaker, and he's a co-founder of the Forbes accredited digital marketing and social media agency, Why Not You Media. Recently, he even gave a TED Talk. Tony hosts the largest charity golf outing on the East Coast with over 1,500 guests, and he leads The Circle, a networking community of over 200 business owners and professionals in all industries across New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Most importantly to me, though, is Tony's Italian-American roots, which are undeniable as soon as you meet him. With a big smile and an even bigger hug, Tony greets and treats you like family whenever you see him, which is only one of the many reasons why I think he's so wonderful. Above all, he's a guy who does what he says he's going to do and has made it his mission to help others create their own paths while continuing to blaze his own. Welcome to Life Actually with Mary Bell and Tony Peck.
Thank you so much. That was an awesome intro.
Thank you. I added my own little flair. I'm an author,
that.
you know. I had to add my own little flair to that.
That was great.
For anybody who does not know, although if you follow me, you will know that I think it was about, I don't know, a year and a half ago when I started marketing for Vivial Memento. It's like the Famiglia Effect is what I like to call it. And when I was on No Snooze podcast with Dave, I was a guest of his and I was looking through his previous guests, and your episode was my favorite. A, because of how you speak. I just love how fast you talk because it's how fast I talk.
I talk really slow. What are you talking about?
And I love, like I said, I love our Italian-American bond that we have and that you have with like other people. Like, you know, not that you can't sit with us, but like we just love.
We get even closer together.
Yes.
Yep. It's like an unspoken bond between us, I feel like.
It
is.
It
nice.
really is. And everybody that we network with in the community too. Like I feel that.
Yep.
But when I met you, I sent you a message and I said, hey, I'm going to be on Dave's podcast and I just saw your episode and I loved it. And we immediately created a very genuine connection from the get-go. And I told you what I did and that I had romance books and it's an Italian-American love story and da-da-da-da. And you immediately introduced me to your beautiful, wonderful sister, Samantha. And I sent her my books. And as social media works, Sam put it in her story. And from there, one of my very close friends now, Dina Fenza Michiamamas, who is another Italian-American food influencer. So I didn't say Sam's is cooking with Nanina, which is with your Nona, right?
Yep.
So she introduced me accidentally to Dina, and I just immediately realized, like, wow, this is my group. These are my people, and it helped me learn how to market my books. So I love that about you, and I love everything about you and your story. And I want to start from the beginning because it's my favorite thing about me. I know how I grew up in an Italian-American household. Like, what was little baby Tony like? Like, how did it start from like the super beginning?
Okay. So I'm second generation. My grandparents came here from Italy.
Okay.
Calabrese. I know you know that. But yeah, I grew up I feel like where I was from, I'm from the Bronx, and it was a little more traditional to be Italian-American.
Yeah.
So a lot of people had the Sunday dinners and the Italian families, and that was just normal. As I got a little bit older, I realized how not normal that life was, and having immigrants as grandparents, and some of my friends had immigrants as parents, right? So it was interesting to see as I got older the difference in the upbringing. But the biggest thing for me was the family background, right? We always had the Sunday dinners together at my grandparents' house. I was fortunate to start working with my grandfather at the age of 11 years old. He had a pizzeria. When he came to this country, he had nothing. He came here when he was 29 years old, which is really crazy to think perspective-wise for me because I'm 31.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine just getting to this country 2 years ago, not knowing the language and not knowing anybody and having no money. So to put that in my perspective of saying, okay, I'm here to create a better life for my family and my legacy because of what he did by coming to this country, that keeps me going day after day. But he came here and he started working in the restaurant business. He ended up opening up his own restaurant. He shut that down 2 years before I was born.
Okay.
And he ended up buying a pizzeria in the Bronx called Tony's Pizza. I still wasn't born at this time. His name's Gaetano. His name's not even Tony.
Okay.
2 years later, I was born. He had a grandson named Tony, which is pretty cool.
Perfect.
So it kind of worked out really well. And I started working with him when I was 11 years old in the pizzeria. And that just changed my perspective on a lot of things. He taught me a lot of what I do in business to this day. And the biggest thing for me was relationships. And he would tell me, Tony, listen, I have guys that come, 40 minutes down south to come to the pizzeria, not because I have the best pizza, but it's because of the relationship I have with them.
Yeah.
And I always took that with me. And it was something that, you just hear it in passing when I was younger, but As I got older, I kept it true to me, and that's kind of how I built to who I am today. But having him and just getting to be around him and learning from that immigrant edge, I don't think enough people get to have that
For that
experience.
grit.
Yeah, that grit of just you have to make it work because there's no other option, right?
Right.
You don't have friends, you don't back up, you don't barely know the language, right? He had to learn the language and just start a new life here for himself and my grandmother, his wife. And it was just amazing to see what he was able to do with the limited resource and limited knowledge he had. So on my journey, especially now with social media and Asia technology, I have so much access to more opportunity than he did,
Oh, yeah.
even when he had the business. So I should be able to take this much further because I started at a higher level playing field than he was because he had to start from zero. So it's a big thing that I take with me year over year. It's just, okay, look what I can do with what I have in front of me, but look at what he was able to do with what he had in front of him.
But also, like, don't waste it. You have
No.
all of this at your fingertips.
Yep.
And don't squander it because you have the ability to reach a tremendous amount of people.
At your fingertips.
Yes.
From home, on the couch. Like, it's crazy. Social media changed my life.
Well, I know, and we'll get there
We'll get into
eventually
this.
because I have so many questions and like just things that I notice with how you do things, which I'm just in awe of. It's wild to me. But I ask usually in Instagram stories before I have guests come on, anybody have questions for guests? And Kat wanted to know, what was your favorite meal growing up?
Great question, Kat. So that's such a tough question because
I
again, we did
know.
Sunday dinners every single
I
Sunday
know.
for such a long duration of my life. We probably stopped doing that. Oh, it's almost sad to say because I started believing in this thing that you never realize when it's going to be the last time you do something.
Yeah.
The last goodbye, the last hello, the last whatever. And, at some point that was the last Sunday dinner. My
Mhm.
cousins moved north, so Sunday dinners slowed down a little bit. My parents ended up getting divorced, so that kind of just came to a screeching halt. So my last Sunday dinner is probably like sometime in high school, maybe the end of high school. And again, you didn't realize that was going to be your last Sunday dinner with the
Right.
family. And again, I still do Sunday dinners, but it's not the extent of the family that we have anymore. It's me, my sister, my grandparents, my girl, Sam's boyfriend. But it wasn't the big family dinners like we used to have. But back then, I would say my favorite dishes growing up, again, it's tough to give you one, but I'm going to go with Nana's chicken cutlets.
Okay.
Especially nice, fried, crispy, thin, right out of the oven. I would get to taste that. I was like a little taster.
There's no chicken cutlet better than one that's fried by somebody else.
Yep, and fresh out of the pan.
Yes.
Yep, still a little drip in the oil, nice and hot. And then I would use that to taste the sauce. So I'd take a
Okay.
little piece of the cutlet,
Mhm.
dip it in the sauce. What do you think of the sauce, Tony? I'd tell her if it's good or bad. Add a little more sugar, add a little more salt. And then pasta-wise, I loved her homemade lasagna. Really,
Ooh,
really
okay.
good. Underrated dish. I don't think enough people say lasagna
Jay
is their
does not
favorite
like
dish.
lasagna.
Really?
Actually, nah.
I love her. It was great. And she puts eggs in it too. I know that's not every style that people put in, but really, really
Oh.
good. Her bolognese was delicious. Again, this is so tough for me. I love her red
There's a
sauce.
lot
She
of-
never did vodka sauce, funny enough, and I become a really big fan
You're
of
a big
vodka
vodka
sauce.
sauce fan.
Yeah, I make my own vodka sauce. Like, I think my vodka sauce is very good. Her meatballs, loved her meatballs. I have my own meatball
Fried
recipe
or
now.
baked meatballs?
Fried.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
We
I
don't
also-
try to be healthy.
No, I mean if
We're
you're going in with pasta and chicken cutlets dripping oil, you're not.
Might
we're
as well
not-
just fry it and get the best you
Let's
can.
fry the balls. I agree with you for sure. And I like you and Lindsay. I just love Lindsay so much, and I have on here something that whatever. Talking to you is like just going back and forth. So these questions I could just throw 'em
Mix
out.
it.
But I feel like in the future you're gonna have your own like Sunday dinner Italian. Like you're gonna have your own family, right? Like you'll start that new.
One of my goals in life, and this is going to be further down the road, is to open up a Tony's Pizzeria in homage
Okay.
to my grandfather and
Oh.
bring back my grandmother's recipes, and me and my sister would do it, and it would be a family thing. So as we have kids, they'll get to work there.
Oh my god!
So that's something
I
like
love
passion
that.
to us, and if it makes us money, great. But it'd be just more to say, hey, we made it, and now we're able to do this in homage to my
Oh
grandparents.
my god!
So.
First of all, no rush, no pressure, but a little baby Tony running around. Like I could see it actually.
Little Tonino.
Tony, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so when you were in school, like
Mhm.
we're like elementary school, middle school, high
Yep.
school, what was Tony like?
So Tony was a fat kid,
Mm.
very chubby, always made fun of. Growing up really young, I had a mushroom haircut. That was like the style back then. You can probably imagine.
I feel like we need this picture.
I had, yeah. I'll have to send it to you. We can throw it into the podcast. Really chubby cheeks. I remember my Aunt Teresa. She lived in Canada. My grandfather's sister, when she'd come and visit, she would just squeeze my cheeks so hard because she loved
They
them.
all
I was
do,
like, oh my
yeah.
God, get away from me, Aunt Teresa. You hurt so much. But I had the chubbiest cheeks. But growing up, I had a speech impediment. My first language was Italian. I only spoke Italian until I was about 4.5 years old. And then my dad's like, I can't communicate with my son. Kid needs to learn English because my mother was really more speaking Italian because of her parents.
Mhm.
And then I learned English. But I think that messed me up, and that's what caused the speech impediment.
Right.
So the pathologists say, I don't know. And that led me to being made fun of a lot in grammar school, through probably up until high school. Once I got to high school, it kind of changed because kids didn't know my speech impediment as then because I got it corrected.
Okay.
But I would say words like dwink instead of drink and twuck instead of truck and pita
Ah.
instead of Peter. And I got poked fun of because of it. I also was a fat kid. And I was both athletic. Like I played basketball. I thought I was going to be in the NBA. That was my goal. But I also was a nerd. Like I liked playing video games with my friends. So I had like the two groups of kids in grammar school.
Right.
I wasn't just one or the other. I'd still go to the park to play ball, but then at nighttime, maybe I'll come and hang out with the kids that like to game and play the video games.
Okay.
So
You know
I
what's
was,
interesting about that too, though, is
Mhm.
like that's what you do now. Like
Yeah.
you incorporate everybody so easily and like just genuinely.
I
And it's my
appreciate that.
favorite thing about you.
Thank
Like you
you.
don't let anybody feel like they don't belong
No,
or
no reason not to. There's a
yeah.
place for you with me at least, and that's how I look at it. I just want
Yeah.
to be the welcoming person that, other people don't have.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
but yeah, that was me growing up in grammar school and
Okay.
then went on to high school. And high school's a little bit different. Again, wasn't really made fun of as much for the speech impediment. They didn't know about that then. Got in a little bit better shape, so I wasn't as fat anymore. I did play basketball in high school. Ended up doing track and field. I was number 10 in the state of New York for discus, believe it or not, the metal
Oh
frisbee.
yeah.
And
Cool.
was really good at that. Was going to go to college for that. Had a bunch of job offers, but I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I just knew I wanted to make money and be successful to provide a better life for my family because money was always an issue for us growing up. Like
Mhm.
we didn't have money, but if I wanted to go see the movies, I had to bring my own money. It wasn't like my dad's going to give me $20.
Right.
So I worked on the weekends from 11 years old to now. I haven't stopped working since 11 pretty much.
Mhm.
And a lot of kids didn't have to do that. They didn't have to work at the restaurant Fridays and Saturday nights. They can just go hang out.
Right.
They can take those school trips for the week. I never went on a trip. My first trip was after we graduated and I started my own business. We went away once a year, vacation, 2 hours north. We drive up to the Catskills. That was our 1 year
You
vacation,
make a
4th of
big
July week.
vacation out of it,
We
yeah.
made a big vacation out of it. We'd take our grandparents. We'd bring food up there. We'd cook up there. There's like
Mhm.
a pool. But it was just different. What people see now is not how I grew up or what I was around. I'd never been in a country club till the day I signed the papers. And it was an emotional moment. I took my grandparents there and they cried and they were just like,
As
this
a
is
member, you mean?
as a member. Yeah, that was the
Mhm.
day. That was the first time I stepped foot in the club was the day I signed the papers to become a member.
Wow.
And I got to take them there and just show them like, this is what the hard work of you guys come to this country was for. Like for us to be able to have a bigger
Oh, I love
opportunity.
that.
So it's been cool. It's been a great journey and
I-
still just
and-
getting started.
You already answered my next question was how has being Italian American influenced that path, but it's hard work.
Yeah, the immigrant edge. I really believe in that. Like my grandfather seeing the hard work and what he was able to do to provide for our family with knowing nothing, knowing no one, having no money, not knowing the language,
Right.
and what that was able to turn into. That just said to me, okay, I have more opportunity in front of me. I should be able to do more. I have to do more. And that's been
I
my
love that
catalyst
too.
through
You
the
don't
year.
even have children yet, but you're already like planning Tony's Pizza and like having your kids work in the restaurant. And like
Yeah.
that to me is the best job that I feel like everybody should be in.
I agree.
Service.
Yeah,
At
for
least
sure.
one point in their
Hospitality.
life.
I did the restaurants. I did the
Yeah.
pizzeria. You gotta learn how to deal with people.
Yeah.
I know one of the other questions you might be asking me in a little bit too about like what my least favorite job was. So I'm going to jump into that one because
Yeah.
I thought about that one a lot. And I don't have a least favorite job. And the reason being is I feel like every experience I've had in the past has brought me to where I am today. And I've learned something, I've taken something from every single job that has
Mhm.
helped catapult me to the success I've had in today's time.
Yeah.
And it's good, bad, or indifferent, right? I've learned good from different places. I've learned bad from different places. And I think a lot of people that might be stuck at a 9 to 5 right now and they want to do their own thing, you got to realize the best owners were the best employees. Like I
Mhm.
was a fantastic employee, extremely accountable. I'd work extra hours for no pay. Like I was giving my time to the job, even if it wasn't my business.
Mhm.
And if you don't have that and you're just like, F this, F that, I don't want to do this, it's going to be tough for you to build your own thing because you don't have appreciation or respect for others that are building something as well.
Right.
So I've always taken that with me. And I'm appreciative for every job I had because it's taught me some type of different skill, whether it's communication, failing, not being as good as I thought I was in something, being better at than I thought I was at something, learning what I liked, learning what I don't like to do. So I think all those things are extremely important for your success on your
Yes.
journey. And I don't think enough people put that in perspective. So I'm very appreciative for every job I've had. And I've had
Yeah.
a lot through the years.
I'm big on that too because and I've said this a bunch of times when I was on No Snooze, even a lot of times as I've spoken through my own episodes here. I went to University of Delaware for hotel restaurant management. I thought I was going to own a nightclub, and then I'm like, wait a second, that's nights and weekends, and I want to have a family, so I'm not going to do that.
Mhm.
Jay and I give a lot of thought to like opening a restaurant, but we're like, we just don't want to do night. Like we
You're
just
going to be
don't.
stuck in that business too.
Yeah,
it's tough.
I just he loves cooking and I like love entertaining, but like I like doing it on my own accord with my family and my friends. I
Yep.
wouldn't want to be locked into it. But I did event planning and then I was like working for a financial advisor and working for a swim school. I have the weirdest rap sheet of jobs, but every single thing that I learned in those jobs, either what to do or what not to do,
Mhm.
helped me when I was finally like, hey, I want to write a book.
Yep.
How the hell do I do this? How do I own a business? How do I keep things moving? And then you realize like you had the building blocks there from all these quote shitty jobs that you
Mhm.
had. And that's incredible. And I think that's really important when we have kids. Like I even asked Marina, she's 5. And I'm like, babe, where do you want to work when you get bigger? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, do you want to work at Adams? It's a really nice grocery store. But she goes, I don't know. So, do you want to work at Tiramisu? It's a restaurant by us. She's like, maybe. But like, it's nice to like plant those
Yeah,
seeds,
100%.
like you're going to be working some point. Like,
Hmm.
we're not going to just hand you everything. I think
Yep.
it's so important.
I think it's even more important to know that it's okay if you not to know what you want to do. I went to school. I have a degree in mechanical engineering. I don't
Yeah.
use it. I never used it, but also the degree, people are like, oh, it was a waste. It wasn't. It wasn't. Like, granted, I don't use it, but the critical thinking I was taught in school has applied to me being a successful business owner,
Right.
right? So, like, even that, to that extent, of I learned something from something I never took with me going forward. But I think it's so important for people to know it's okay to not know what you want to do, and it's also okay to fail. Like, because we're taught at such an early age, failing's bad. You get a bad grade, that's a bad thing because you failed.
Mm-hmm.
But the real life, you need to fail to go forward. And I think my biggest success in life has been I was so willing to try so many new things, and I was okay with failing. I'd just be happy to go do the next thing. I wanted to get into finance. I did the engineering. I was a bouncer. I was a real estate agent. I worked in the restaurants. I was a bookie. I sold BB guns. I sold Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I shoveled snow. I sold lip balm. Like, the list goes on, right? I tried so many different things. But if you don't try that many things, it's hard to know what you like, and it's also hard to know what you don't like.
Right.
And it's okay to not like things, and it's also okay to like less things than you thought you did like in the past. So you can't figure that out if you don't try multiple
And you're
things
amassing a huge, enormous network of people that you meet through
along the
that.
way. Because I'm big on keeping relationships, so most people don't like that.
Right.
So I still keep in touch with people I went to college with. I still
too.
keep in touch with people that I worked when I was in Con Ed as an
Mhm.
engineer when I was in college. There's no reason to, just because they're good dudes.
Yeah.
And it just means that much more that I do stay in touch with them because they've seen what I've been able to build over the last decade.
Which is why I've got a guy. You got the t-shirt on?
Yep.
And
I live by that mantra. I got a guy.
You do.
If you have a guy, you're able to add value to other people, and then by there, your opportunities will come to you.
Right. And that's my favorite thing about you is that you do all of this so genuinely. Like, you just genuinely want to help others. How instrumental has support been from family and friends, like specifically? And I know you're like the way that you talk about your sister and your relationship, it's another one of my favorite things about you. But if you didn't have that, like, how difficult is it for people who just you're very you take care of things. Like, you're a go-getter and you're a doer. But is it easier because you have that support?
So I didn't have any support besides my sister, especially when I started my business, and almost my sister because she's 6 years younger than me. It was like a blind trust into that's my big brother. I'm going to trust and believe in
love that.
anything you're going to pursue. So it was almost like a blind, I don't want to say lack of knowledge on her part. Just like, hey, that's my big brother. He's like the shiny object. I look up to him. Whatever he's going to pursue, he's got this, right?
Mhm.
But everybody else thought I was out of my mind. My dad's like, what are you doing? You have an engineering degree. You're not going to use it. I don't understand. It's a waste. It's like, I'm not costing you any money. You didn't pay for the school. I have a loan. He's not going to use it yet. And if I fail, I'll go back into engineering. It's a great backup.
Mhm.
And I really had no support in the journey. All the kids I grew up with made fun of me because, again, I was putting myself out on social media. But the biggest thing was, and I learned this young, thank God, because I think this is where a lot of people struggle, is it's your dream. You don't need anybody else to believe in your dream more
Mhm.
than you believe in it. And if you expect anybody else to believe in it more than you believe in it, you're going to fail right there.
Yeah.
So you have to go into understanding. You don't need your mother's approval, your father, your wife, your husband, your kids, your siblings, anyone, your friends, your family, your people closest to you. It's okay if they don't believe in it
Yeah.
because they shouldn't be able to because they can't understand what you're feeling for
Yeah.
yourself and believe that you can actually accomplish. You have to go out and do it yourself. And then once you end up actually achieving it or start to see some success and start achieving some of the goals you set out to put forward, then they're going to start believing in you. But by then you don't need it because you already got there without the belief in others. So support hasn't been a major catalyst to my growth. It's just been me understanding that it's my dream. I know what I'm capable of. And I'm going to do my goddamn best to get to where I want to be. And my sister's been my cheerleader from day one. But even if I didn't have her cheering me on, I still would be where I am. And I'm sure she would have believed in me once I saw a little success.
Yeah.
But she's been there from the beginning for sure. But nobody else really was as gun-ho and believing in me besides me and her. So
Well, I say that all the
Cool to see.
time. Nobody, like, you have to believe in your dream more than anybody else is ever going to.
it's yours.
Yeah. It's the same thing too. Like, if you're trying to lose weight, like, I'm not going to lose weight because I want this person to think I look hot. Like,
No.
I need to
Gotta do
lose
it for
weight
you.
for me,
Yeah.
for my health and what I feel for myself. I love that because I have a tremendous support system. My parents, my mother-in-law, Jay, obviously, my best friends. And a lot of times I feel like it's not relatable because a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
So if you are listening and you're like, oh yeah, I always wanted to write a book. I always want to do this and I can't because I have a kid at home and I have this and I don't have a supportive husband.
No
Like-
excuse. You don't need that.
Right.
Yeah, and if you have it, great. Like now I have a lot of support, but I'm talking about day one when I first started.
Right.
There was no
Yes.
support there. Like nobody believed in it. Now, obviously, everybody wants to be around and kind of be a part of what I'm building.
Yes.
And that now it's cool to see all the support from people younger, older, more successful, less successful, and just the gamut of the network that I have now.
Yeah, and that's a great segue because my next question has to do with you have such a following and you have so many eyes on what you're doing. And a lot of people are, I'll speak for myself. Like, I am as genuine as you are. Like, I truly believe in you and I love being a part of whatever you do. Like, if it's a Tony thing, I'm like, well, shit, yeah, I'm going to figure out a way to be part of something that Tony's involved in because I just really believe in it. How do you, though, weed out people who are either using you or like people who just have malintent?
It's tough in the beginning. I'm definitely a little bit more on the naive side because I like to believe in the good of everybody.
Hmm.
So I kind of I give you trust until you take away the trust that, you know what I'm saying? So that's been tough for me, but it's become easier to kind of sniff it out off the rip about someone's malintent. It's kind of how like they position the introduction or how I first got connected to them and what they're asking of or how they're asking specific things.
Right.
So you just I guess you kind of learn a better acute sense to determine who's, really true and genuine or who's just there to try to take something from you.
Right.
And then for me, I'm a big protector of my time. I don't have a lot of time. I have a lot of people to deal with. And some people like just rip me phone calls. I don't work with them. They've never worked with me. They don't support me. I just know you in passing. Like, I don't have time to answer the phone for you. Like, it's not supposed to be a mean thing, but like
Yeah.
I'm booked out 2-3 weeks in advance. So for you to even assume that I have the time to give you, it's a little, okay, got to keep my energy protected here.
Yeah.
So that's been a big thing. Saying no to a lot more. When I first started, I said yes to everything. And I'm a big believer in when you first start a business, you should
have
take
to.
absolutely every opportunity possible.
Hmm.
I remember when we first started, me and my partner would go to a lot of meetings. And sometimes that'd be like 10, 15 meetings a day. And we were selling like $150 a month package. And I would close maybe one out of those meetings. So we're spending the whole day to hopefully close one. And one day he walked out of the meeting. He's like, this is such a waste meeting with these people. I said, no, it's not a waste. I said, it's not a waste for a few things, though. One, you never know who they're going to become. You don't know who they know. You don't know who they're going to meet. But at the final moment of all those three things, if none of those things actually turn into anything, the fourth is the most important. It's you're putting in the reps. And those reps are going to make you better. And then when you do get the opportunity to sit in front of someone that you could do something big with, you're now more prepared than you were because you have more experience from doing the reps of the things that you didn't think made sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a big believer in it might take you 100 no's, but then that 101 pays you 1,000x return. Yeah. And a lot of people don't look at it that way. So I'm a big believer in that and just understanding that it's okay if not everything works for you in the beginning, but then you get to a certain point, you got to start saying no. Like I'm at that point now that it's just, like my birthday just passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over 1,600 people reached out to me. 1,600 people.
Goodness.
I'm still answering people to this day. It's been a week now.
Just like unread text messages on your
Texts,
phone?
DMs, all across everything. It's just out of control. So I'm still trying to get through all the messages.
It's a great
so
problem to have, but
it's a
that's
great problem to have,
overwhelming.
but just to put in perspective of how many people reach out to me, and there's still people that are like, oh, I called you twice. You didn't answer me back. What do you mean? Like, we don't work together. You don't support. You don't come to the events. You're not part of anything that I do associate with or ever have done. Why do I have to answer you right away? It's just that mentality of, hopefully, if you're listening, that maybe if you're like, oh, that person's too busy for me. But take a step back. Do you have any relationship with that person? Is there a reason they should be answering you? And I take myself in those shoes when I'm talking to bigger guys that are very successful too and also really busy. So like real understands real. And you can kind of see and gauge, okay, that person doesn't take things that seriously. Or the people that complain, oh, you're too busy to hang out with me now. Yeah, I am. I don't look to hang out. I'm here to grow an empire. Like I'm only business all the time. If you want to just hang out and have fun, I'm not the friend for you. Because that's not part of my life right now. It hasn't been for the last 7 years. It's not gonna be for the next 7 years. So, and that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow because we might start out business and then they want to become more friendly. I don't have time to do the friend stuff.
Yeah.
And again, you just got to know who you're looking to connect with, how you can add value to them, and also how they can add value to you as well and not take away from what you're trying to build.
Exactly. Oof. That's good stuff, Tony.
Yeah.
And actually, I feel so happy that you're here. And then we joke all the time about having like a family dinner or Sunday family dinner with Jay too, because I just want you guys to meet each other so much because you just have so many things in common and like that Italian American, like just, and he's that way. He does for other people without any expectation in return for a lot of stuff. But he's got a guy too, Jay. Like, and he works law enforcement in Westchester, and we could go anywhere. And there's somebody like, oh, is that Jay Bellatieri? And I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, when I'm playing the Lindsay side of things, like, oh, here we go again, another person. What is your best piece of advice for people in business to maintain trust with their clients and customers?
To maintain trust, it's communication. I think a big thing is just doing what you say you're going to do. You know, as I've been through this journey now, I get extremely frustrated by anyone, and you kind of lose my want to do anything with you if you're going to say something and just not do it. And it can be so simple as, I'm going to send you that email tomorrow, or I'm going to send you that email tonight, or I'm going to send you that video today, or I'm going to do this, like little things. You don't do those things, you lost trust from me right off the rip. So I'm a big believer in anything that I tell my clients, I'm doing exactly what I'm saying that I told them I'm going to do. Yeah. And by doing that, you're building trust time over time. And it can be little things that compounds though. Just saying, I'm going to give you a call tomorrow. You do that, a little more trust is added to your bucket now. I'm going to make that introduction to that person this week. You do that, a little more trust is added to the bucket now. So doing all those things compounded over time, you become more of a trusted person. That's why a lot of people trust and believe everything I do, because when I say something, that is going to get done. And if
That's
I can't
exactly
do
what
it,
I wrote
I
in
just
your
don't do it.
intro. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the reality.
Now, do you have that thing like if it's like the old school Italian, if somebody like pisses you off, they're like dunzo? Like,
Yeah, pretty much. I just won't spend any time on them. Like the call tag, like you're not going to get an answer from me.
Yeah.
It's just, again, I have 1,600 people reaching out to me.
mhm.
Like there's a lot of people that I do want to give my time to, right? So it's tough. Like if you're going to do something malicious, or if I know you're a bad person, or you've done something bad to someone I'm close with, or whatever the case is, like you just pretty much out silently though. You know, I'm not going to cause a scene or put anyone on blast. Like I can hurt a lot of businesses socially. You'll never see me do that though.
Yeah.
And I've had some bad encounters through the years, but I've never publicly done anything. No bad reviews, no publicizing any negativity. That's not my style.
Yeah.
Just a silent. That's it. No more.
Yeah. It's just, a lot of it is Italian American too, because I'm the same way too. If I love you, I love you.
Yep.
And I will support whoever like that I know has my best interest at heart too.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I feel that feeling, I don't know, you can't even explain it. If you're listening to this, and I think a lot of like Latin cultures, Claudio, is this the same thing too? Like it's the Malocchio, right? Like you just
Yep.
like, you know, you give him the Malocchio. I don't know.
It's true.
All right. So as I knew this was going to happen, you talk so fast and basically you're so thorough in your answers. Part one of this is pretty much complete, all these questions.
Awesome.
But it was basically, I wanted to learn more about your background, Famiglia, grounded with Italian American roots. And I absolutely think we accomplished that.
I think so too.
I think,
One more you missed though, what I wanted to be when I grew up.
yes.
You didn't ask that.
No, I did in the beginning. I said, what did little Tony want to be when he wanted to grow
Oh,
up?
you said how it was. Well, let me hit back on that question,
Okay,
because I
go
think that's a
ahead.
cool one. A lot of people don't know this about me, so it's more like a fun fact.
Okay,
No one
go.
really asked me that
I love
question.
fun facts.
I always grew up wanting to be a businessman.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, my birthday Christmas gift, I was about 11 or 12 years old, was a leather briefcase.
I want this picture too.
I saw the briefcase. I know you'd appreciate it, but that was always me. I always had this dream of, I wanted to be on the phone all the time. I wanted to be in a suit, and I just wanted to be doing deals. And slowly but surely, I kind of became that person. Obviously, I don't have to wear the suits anymore because I built the brand, and now you don't need a briefcase. But I still have that briefcase, and I use that for my first business, the lip balm company. And it's been cool to see that I kind of became that person that I always wanted to be. But yeah, it's always been, I want to be a businessman. Didn't know in what sense or in what I wanted to do.
I
always
feel
been my
like I
dream.
need all of these little Tony like pictures.
I think my sister
The
has a lot of
mushroom
them. I
cut.
gotta
Yeah,
ask her.
Sam, please text me these pictures. The mushroom cut and the briefcase.
Yep.
I'm gonna need them immediately. All right. So part two is basically the importance of networking, the impact of social media. So we'll dive into that because that's just, as they say, your bread and butter. It's what you're so freaking good at.
Appreciate that.
And it's, you know, it's how we met and how you've even helped propel me forward, like I said in the beginning. So if anybody's catching though, part one, which is just getting to know Tony Peck, tell them where to find you.
Find me on Instagram, Tony Peck, TonyPEC_. Shoot me a DM, connect me with me on there. I'm on different platforms too, but Instagram's my main platform. I'm the godfather of Instagram.
Oh my God,
so
300 and
course.
how many? 40,
I think
50,000?
like 305, 308. I don't know. It's just a number.
It
Doesn't
is just
matter.
a number, but
Yeah.
it's very impressive and it's amazing what you do with your time, which I have those questions coming up too. So thank you for tuning into part one, Tony Peck. We'll see you next week for part two.
Ciao.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, follow the full journey on social media at the handle mary.bell.books. And if you have need for audio visual content creation and recording services, Cayi Visions is located in Stamford, Connecticut, and can also be found on Instagram at CAYI Visions.